Hi guys, Jeff Miller here from SpeedBinder. In this video we are going to talk about setting up your artwork for a full color entrapment style vinyl binder. It is this kind here. This is the kind where it's a regular heat sealed vinyl binder, but what we do is we print your artwork on 100-pound coated stock, and then it's trimmed to the exact size of the chipboard that goes in the binder, and then we round off the corners, and then that gets laminated underneath a layer of clear vinyl at the time we manufacture the binder right here in our plant in Omaha, Nebraska. By the way, today is May 7th, 2013, and I just heard on the radio driving into the office this morning that Adobe announced they're no longer going to be selling boxes of software. It's all going to be download only online. So I went into our server room. I don't know if you can see this. This is the last box of Adobe that I could find. This goes back to CS2. We've been downloading it ever since. I'm not sure how years old this is, but if we ever form a museum here at SpeedBinder, I guess we'll put our last Adobe box in the museum. Anyway, a little Adobe trivia for you there today. Anyway, okay, so entrapment style vinyl binders. The thing to remember about these is that the printing is done as three pieces: front, spine, back cover. They're three separate things, and we set them up that way as three separate PDF files. So to do your own artwork on these, first thing you're going to need is the correct templates, and you're going to find that on our website under the Design Center on templates. And here you go, the very first ones you see. And these binders are available in two sheet sizes, which is 11 by 8.5, and then there's half size, which is 8.5 by 5.5. And each of those is available in a variety of ring sizes. And the only trick on that is our office size 1.5-inch binders. There's two different sizes based on what kind of ring. So round rings have one template. D rings have a different template, so be sure to keep that straight. They're slightly different. Otherwise, all of the other sizes, you use the same template whether or not it's a round or D ring. But the 1.5-inch office size are kind of a special case. Okay, for example here, I'm going to use the office size 1-inch round rings. So I'm going to go ahead and select that, click that here. What that's going to do is it's going to download a zip file. All of these templates, these all bring you up a zip file that has 4 files in it. So let me go ahead and open that up. The 4 files are a PDF file for the covers, a PDF file for the spines, an Illustrator file for the mock-up or the proof, and then another one that we call press sheet. That's what the PS is. That's the press sheet. And I'm not going to talk about that one today. We'll get into that into a different video. You probably won't need that unless you're doing your own printing, in which case you might want to take advantage of that or not. It's strictly your choice. So first thing we're going to do, let's get into Illustrator here, and I'm going to bring up the front cover for one of these samples that we've got. Let me navigate to our example. Okay, here we go, I got it right here. Okay, so here's the front cover artwork for our example. This is actually a sample binder that we send out to printers and such that they can use at the counter. I'm just going to go ahead and hide all the visible layers and just show you all these templates are, all of them, is if they're just rectangles that are sized to the appropriate size. And the rectangle corresponds to the actual piece of chipboard that we're using in that particular size of binder. And that's what your entrapment insert is going to be for the either front or spine or back cover. And then there's also, you'll see here, a 1/4-inch bleed allowance all the way around. That's important. And that's really it. It's really pretty simple. These are all just a bunch of rectangles. So in this particular example, what we have here is there's this big JPEG file that's basically like a piece of parchment paper background, and then we just have some text and fancy stuff on the front. And that's really all there is to this. But the thing I wanted to show you is how we save these and why we save them the way we do. So I'm going to go and do a save as and save over the top of it just so I can bring up the settings box that you'll be able to see what what this looks like. Now if you're using our templates, which obviously you should be, these should come in to your Illustrator already set up this way, but just to show you the details of underneath how we're doing this. The first thing you're going to want to set is high quality print as your Adobe PDF preset. And all that's going to do is make sure that if you have large raster files that they get skinny down to an appropriate print size. Next one is marks and bleeds. You want to set all printers marks, and then you want to set use document bleed settings. Now there's a little trick here. I always turn off page information because we don't really need it, and it can kind of confuse things a little bit on the spine side, and I'll show you why, or show you how that happens in a minute. But that's what you want to set. All printers marks, turn off page information, use document bleed settings. There you go. You're done. Save it, and you've got your file. So let me bring up that file and let me show you what it looks like in Adobe Acrobat, so you can see exactly what you should end up looking at. So here is the front cover that we just saved. I'm going to open it in Acrobat, and that's what it looks like right there. And what you'll see Illustrator has done is it's trimmed that background file to the bleed line. It's given us the the cut marks and the alignment bars and the color bars and all of these various things. We don't really make a lot of use of that if we're printing digitally, but when we're printing on wet ink, the press guys always want that stuff. So you're going to end up with 3 files that look substantially like this. That's the front cover. Obviously, the spine is going to look somewhat different in terms of how it's it's obviously much narrower, but otherwise it's just another rectangle, and the back cover is similar. So you end up, that's your first step, is you want to create those 3 files. And by the way, back cover artwork is optional. You don't necessarily have it. Probably half of the jobs people use it, half of them they don't, to save a couple of pennies on the job. So that's the basic files. And fundamentally, that's what we need at that point. If you want to just do those, send those to us. That's what we absolutely need to have for your job. The rest is just kind of stuff that might be useful to you internally. And to that point, the next thing I'm going to do is show you how we create a proof or a mock-up. And this is just a file that's going to sort of be a picture of what the binder is going to look like. So in this case, I've opened up the appropriate mock-up file. This is the 1-inch office size mock-up template. And you'll see here in our layers palette, the ones that I'm mainly interested in right now are the customer artwork layer and the artwork clipping masks layer. So I'm going to make sure the customer artwork layer is selected. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to place the 3 files that we just created onto the file. By the way, if anybody from Adobe is ever watching one of these, it would be really nice if we could place more than 1 file at a time. I'd love to see us being able to do that. But as it is, we're going to place them one at a time. So there's the front cover. Here's the back cover. And here is the spine. I don't care particularly where they land at the moment. We'll adjust those now. And so the next step is, having placed our 3 files into the customer artwork layer, I'm going to unlock the artwork clipping masks layer. And this is just 3 rectangles. That's all that's in this layer that correspond to the exact size and position of the 3 various pieces that we're printing. And you'll notice that the corners are rounded over on the fronts and the backs as well, because that's how they're going to look when we're done. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to do the spine first. I'm going to select the spine artwork that was placed in the customer artwork layer. I'm going to shift select the spine clipping mask. I'm going to click it again, which has the effect of locking it in position. Then I'm going to align horizontally, align vertically, right click, create clipping mask, boom, now the spine's in the correct position. So the next file that we have here, this is the back cover. I'm just going to grab that. I'm going to shift select the back cover clipping mask, click it again to lock it, align horizontal, align vertical, right click, create clipping mask, boom, that one's in position. Last one is the front cover. That's this file here. Again, shift select the front cover mask, click it again to lock it, align, align, right click, make clipping mask, boom. All 3 are now in position, and that's a pretty good example of what this binder is going to look like. And again, if you were going to, if you were, this is a job that we were doing for you, this is what we would send you for a proof. Now, the other thing to remember too, let me zoom in a little bit here. With these entrapment binders, there's a little sliver of vinyl that's going to show around the entrapment insert. And so there's the color of that piece of vinyl that goes underneath the entrapment inserts on the front cover, or on the outside of the binder, is going to show through. So you're going to want to select that appropriately based on your job. And it's also something to be used as you're setting up your artwork, to keep that in mind, because you're either going to want to minimize the appearance of that vinyl, or you might want to use it kind of for a framing effect, again, kind of depending on your design choice. So what I'm going to do, for just real quick, I'm going to hide the artwork clipping masks layer where all that artwork ended up, and I'm going to unlock the outline layer, and I'm going to select it. Now the outline layer is just basically just a big rectangle with the corners rounded off to represent the outline of the binder. You also see we have this layer called vinyl colors, and these are our stock vinyl options that we have. Now currently it's just set to white, but what we do is, if we want to change that, I mean, let's just say, for example, we wanted to do kind of a picture frame look, and we want to change this background vinyl to black. With the background vinyl, the outline selected, I'm just going to either onto the black vinyl, and that'll turn it all black, or I could make it burgundy or whatever to do, and that'll change that color of that outline layer. So then I'm going to lock that again and visualize my artwork clipping masks layer, so you can see the effect there. So whichever color of vinyl you're going to use, it'll show through a little bit, and this way you can kind of simulate that. And again, if we're sending you the proof, we're going to make sure we do that so you get a good visualization of what your job's going to look like. If we were doing this for you, we would save this as an Illustrator file, and then we would save it again as a low-resolution PDF, and that would be the proof that you would send us. If you're sending artwork to us, if you'd like to send us a mock-up produced this way, that would be nice, just to help us visualize and make sure that we're understanding exactly how this looks. But in reality, if you send us the 3 files, the front, back, and spine, in PDF format, saved according to the specifications that I just described, then that's what we'd need from you. What we would then do is turn around and create a mock-up for you and send it to you as a PDF, just so you'd verify that we've interpreted everything correctly and nothing got lost in translation. All right, that's a brief introduction into the artwork setup for a full color entrapment vinyl binder. If you have any questions, as always, just give us a call here at SpeedBinder, 888-338-0924. We are here to make this as easy for you as we can. Any questions at all? Thanks a bunch. You have a great day. Take care.